I'm Jake Miller. This is the story of how my family betrayed me, how I rebuilt my life from nothing, and how 20 years later, I came back to deliver a masterclass in justice. My father, Tom, cheated on my mom with Lisa, who gave birth to my stepsister, Rhea, 2 years younger than me. After my mom succumbed to illness, Lisa took over as the lady of the Miller family. She schemed to marry Rhea to Harry Tate, heir to Tate Tech, a solar energy company, and the engagement was splashed across headlines. But when Tate Tech's investments tanked, leaving them bankrupt with warehouses of unsold panels and no cash flow, Lisa convinced Tom to withhold financial aid, citing tight cash flow. To dodge media accusations of breaking promises and tarnishing the Miller-Tate alliance, my parents forced me to marry Harry instead. Harry was a broken man, buried in debt. I stood by him, selling solar panels at street stalls, wearing thrift store flannel, and scrounging discounted produce before markets closed. We lived in a cramped, moldy apartment with a leaky ceiling and flickering lights. The media ridiculed us, plastering our faces on front pages with headlines like, "Once a CEO, now a poor street vendor struggling to survive." I dropped 20 pounds from the grind, my frame so bony Harry cried one night, holding me, swearing, "I'll give you a better life, Jake." We worked relentlessly. We woke before dawn to haggle with suppliers. We hauled inventory through crowded markets. We dragged ourselves home past midnight, only to repeat it daily. I pored over industry reports, spotted a gap in solar energy, and convinced Harry to bet our last dime. We rode the industry boom, rebuilding Tate Tech into a powerhouse. During this, I became a father to twins, Will and Wendy. The delivery was hell, over a day of excruciating pain, passing out before surgeons saved me and the twins. I thought we'd made it, that our family was ironclad. Then I caught Harry cheating with Rhea. Worse, Will and Wendy helped cover it up, lying about playdates with Auntie Rhea, sneaking her into our home. When I confronted my parents, they brushed me off. "Be the bigger man, Jake," Tom said. "Rhea can't have kids, her body's not built for it. She won't find another man like Harry. She was meant to marry him first. The kids love her. We're family. Let them be together." Lisa added, "Rhea will treat your kids like her own." My twins piled on. "We want Auntie Rhea. She's nicer and buys us better stuff." I stared at them, tears streaming, my heart splintering as my family turned against me. One incident sealed my fate. Will had a severe peanut allergy, and we never kept peanuts in the house. But one day, he ate some. His face swelled, his eyes drooped, and he gasped for air. Terrified, I carried him to the hospital, my heart pounding as I begged, "Hold on, Will." The doctors saved him. But on the hospital bed, he sobbed, "Daddy fed me peanuts to punish me because Rhea took me out and he got mad." I swore, "I'd never hurt you," but no one believed me. Relatives called me a monster, accusing me of abusing my son. The media ran with it, branding me a cruel father who endangered his child. Headlines screamed, "Father tries to kill allergic son." My reputation was obliterated. Later I learned Will lied to ruin me, manipulated by Rhea to push me out. Rhea didn't care that Will nearly died, yet he protected her, glaring at me with hate-filled eyes, saying, "You'll regret this, Daddy." Wendy spread the lie, telling relatives I was horrible, sobbing to aunts and uncles about my cruelty, ensuring the story stuck. I demanded a divorce and half of Harry's assets, earned through years of blood and sweat. Harry pleaded, "I'm closing a deal with Mr. Winchell. Giving you half now will bankrupt Tate Tech again. You helped build this. Can you watch it collapse?" I snapped. "You can't bear to lose the company, but you can cheat with my stepsister?" I hustled for every deal, every supplier, every dollar. "Half is mine, Harry. If the media learns you dumped me for Rhea, your reputation's done." Tom stepped in. "Jake, you're hurt. Take a house and $1 million. Rest and move on." Will shouted, "You're selfish. You'll ruin Dad's company." Wendy added, "You love money more than us. Take Grandpa's offer, or we won't forgive you." Their words cut deeper than knives, tears spilling as I faced my twins' betrayal. "Fine," I said, voice cold. "I don't need you. I want what's mine." The Millers paid part of the settlement to keep Tate Tech afloat. I signed the divorce papers, took my half, and left, their accusations ringing in my ears as I walked away from the family I'd fought for. I moved to Australia, heart heavy but determined to rebuild. At an orphanage, I met Dan Carter, a gloomy boy with an IQ over 170, sitting alone in a corner, lost in a book. His file revealed a photographic memory and exceptional intellect, but he was emotionally shut off, scarred from watching his abusive father beat his mother to death. Gently, I took his hand and asked, "Want to come with me? I'll be your dad." His lifeless eyes flickered with hope, and he nodded. He asked, voice hoarse, "Can you take my 2 friends? They're girls, and they're really good." I met Mia Tyson and Nora Gibbs, their resilient spirits moving me. I adopted all 3, vowing to give them the family I'd lost. Dan showed a knack for business early. At 12, he sold homemade holiday chocolates to classmates, raking in cash. By 15, he taught himself coding, built a game, and sold it online, landing a $1 million investment. His empire grew, fintech, AI, luxury car finance, until he became the world's richest man, heading Electrobot Inc. Mia, calm and brilliant, founded Apex Tech Institute, pioneering AI chips, semiconductors, and communication tech with Dan's funding. making his company technologically untouchable. Nora, lively and kind, believed in education's power and worked her way up to principal of Elite Global Academy, a prestigious school for the world's elite, including the president's son. I poured my heart into raising them, attending every school play, cheering their victories, and finding solace in their love, which healed the wounds left by Will and Wendy. The return and Will's confrontation. 20 years later, as my 50th birthday approached, I returned to the US. Will, now running Tate Tech, tracked me down at a modest hotel. "Bet you regret taking half of Dad's assets," he sneered. "You tried to destroy Tate Tech, didn't you? Look at us now, going public. Regretting it yet?" Tall, sharp-nosed, with Harry's deep eyes, he exuded maturity and arrogance, nothing like the teary boy who called me Daddy. He looked just like his father, and his hate-filled glare reminded me of that hospital day when he'd said, "You'll regret this, Jake." Now, he mocked my poverty, saying, "You're broke, staying in some cheap hotel." I stayed calm, asking, "Is this why you came after 20 years?" He snapped, "If it weren't for Mom, I wouldn't bother." This Saturday, my parents are celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary. Reporters dug up old stories about you because you're back. Grandpa and Grandma heard you're here and want you at the ceremony to protect the Miller and Tate reputation. Don't embarrass us like before. He added, "I'll send you a suit. You look too poor. It's embarrassing. When you're too old to work, Wendy and I will send money. But don't expect anything else from my family." At the party, watch what you say to reporters. Prioritize our reputation. His contempt was palpable, his eyes scanning me with disdain. I recalled the peanut incident, his lies that ruined me, and felt only disappointment. "I'll be there on time," I said, texting my adopted kids. Phase 1 begins. I'd leaked those rumors to reporters about Ria's affair, knowing Tate Tech's upcoming IPO needed buzz. They invited me to clarify the rumors, but I planned to flip their scheme. At the Hot Spring Hotel, I arrived in a tailored suit, sharp and composed. Ria, in a peacock green dress that hugged her curves, linked arms with Harry, greeting guests with a practiced smile. Seeing me, she rushed over, grabbing my arm and dragging me to the media, striking a graceful pose. "Rumors about me and Jake are nonsense," she said, tears brimming, her face a mix of sorrow and strength. "We're close. I'd never be a homewrecker. These lies have hurt me. I hope the media can clear this up." Before I could speak, Tom and Lisa hugged me for the cameras. Tom dabbed fake tears. "I haven't seen my son in 20 years, he said, voice trembling. "I'm so emotional. At my age, I just want my kids close." Lisa nodded, eyes glistening. Reporters pounced. "Why haven't you visited your father in 20 years? Is that how a son acts?" Another asked, "Your son's taken Tate Tech public, and your daughter's studying for a PhD in New Zealand. They missed a father's love. Why abandon them? Have you remarried? Got new kids?" The crowd murmured, accusing me of being a terrible dad and son. Ria smiled sweetly. "Jake was young and impulsive back then. He didn't mean to. Now he's back. Let's move on." Whispers grew. He neglected his elderly father. What kind of dad leaves his kids? His poor twins must have suffered. He's so selfish. I stayed calm and said, "I'm here to drop off a gift, an unreleased AI dog from Electrobot Inc., owned by my friend Dan Carter, the world's richest man. It's for Harry and Ria's 20th anniversary. Feel free to check it out." The AI dog, sleek and futuristic, wagged its tail and barked playfully, stealing the spotlight. Reporters swarmed it, snapping photos, ignoring Ria's sob story. Will, watching from the side, stared in disbelief. Stunned, I knew Dan. I'd timed the gift perfectly. Tate Tech's IPO needed a perfect 20-year marriage to boost stock prices, but my leaked rumors about Ria's affair forced them to invite me to clear their name. Instead, I hijacked their narrative, promoting Dan's AI dog, set to launch the next week. Once the reporters left, Ria dropped her act, smashing her wine glass. "You did this to steal my spotlight," she screamed. "You're jealous of my happiness. The media ignored me for your stupid robot dog. Why did you come back?" Harry said. "Jake, you're still hung up on me. That's why you're getting revenge on Ria. It's been 20 years. Let it go." I laughed. "Harry, with that greasy face and beer belly, I'm good." Will cut in. "Do you really know Dan Carter? Introduce Tate Tech to him. A partnership with Electrobot would take us to the next level." I stared at him. "Who am I to you? You said I'd never be your dad if I took half of Tate Tech. Why should I help you?" Wendy jumped in. "You're lying. That AI dog's probably fake. You're malicious, trying to ruin everything." Tom scolded me. "You're making a scene. You're a compulsive liar, claiming you know Carter. You took all that money and squandered it. Now you're back. A broke embarrassment. Maybe I should tell everyone how much you took back then. Life's been rough, huh? That's why you're crawling back." Wendy muttered, "I wish you weren't my dad." Relatives whispered, "His own kids hate him. He must have done something horrible. He abandoned his family for money and now claims to know the richest guy? Pathetic." I pulled out my phone and video called Dan. His warm, "Hey Jake," silenced the room. My aunt piped up, "Jake, I always believed in you. Remember my son Marvin? Get him a job at Electrobot." Others scrambled to cozy up, shaking my hand, pretending they'd supported me. Will and Wendy backtracked. "Help Tate Tech partner with Dan, and we'll call you Dad again. You can come home for dinner. I smirked. I haven't sent gifts for Dad's birthdays in years. Today, I'll make up for it. I'll introduce you to Dan, but the rest is on you. Tate Tech hyped a fake partnership with Dan, paying media outlets to publish glowing reports. Their stock soared to $85 per share, hitting record highs. Will, swarmed by reporters, brimmed with confidence, boasting about Tate Tech's future. I spread a rumor about a lucrative land deal in Massachusetts, claiming the government planned a commercial hub guaranteed to be highly profitable. Will, hearing it, attended the auction, bidding fiercely against me. I drove the price up, feigning interest with calculated nods, and he snatched the land at an insane cost, smirking. You can't compete with Tate Tech's resources. Wendy, using connections, stole my clients, thinking she'd crush me. Will taunted. I told you I'd make you regret it. Dan values us and plans a long-term partnership. Out of respect for Dad's past with you, we'll send money to keep you comfortable. I swirled my wine glass. Aren't you worried this is temporary? Will's face twisted. You never quit. In 10 years, when you're begging, we'll see who's sharp. I maintained ties with Mr. Trapman, president of Open Lot Marketplace, feeding Will deals he thought he'd stolen, draining Tate Tech's funds. Wendy's client-stealing spree overextended their resources, and their arrogance blinded them. At my 50th birthday party, Dan, Mia, and Nora threw a lavish event, inviting the same guests from Harry and Ria's anniversary. Nora greeted guests at the entrance. Wendy sneered, "Your adopted kid? Average." Ria laughed. "Winnie's joking." Nora snapped, "You're a terrible mother, talking like that in front of your daughter." Ria bragged, "Wendy's starting at Elite Global Academy, a school for president's kids. You'd never get in." Nora smirked. "Really? Wendy hasn't received an admission letter. Letters went out weeks ago. Bragging and lying. What a parent." Wendy, pale, checked the academy's website, finding her name missing. Nora revealed, "I'm the principal. I interviewed Wendy. She kept interrupting, lacked critical thinking, and her communication was poor. You brought her, Ria, and didn't let her speak. Like mother, like daughter. You ditched Jake for Harry, and now your kid's hopeless." Wendy snapped, "How could I have a mom like you?" Ria trembled, feeling the betrayal I'd endured 20 years ago. She yelled, "You abused your power because Jake sabotaged us. I'll expose you." Nora replied, "Want me to release the interview video? It'll show Wendy's mediocrity. You'll be more embarrassed." Will tried calming Ria, leading his family to their seats. Wendy hissed, "Why didn't you stand up for me? Let's leave this stupid party." Will whispered, "We're here for Dan Carter. If Jake badmouths us, our deal's done." Seeing Dan's gaze, Will smiled nervously. Dan said to me, "Dad, the show's just starting." Will's phone rang and his face fell. "What did you do?" he yelled. "Dan denied the Tate Tech partnership. Our stock's crashing." I blinked innocently. I didn't do anything. Will raged, "You're ruining me." He turned to Dan. "What did Jake say? He's held a grudge for years. Tate Tech's worth partnering with. Our solar project's cutting edge. We're eager to follow your lead." Dan replied coldly, "Your company's been public for 20 years with no innovation. Your strategy is stealing clients." Will groveled, "I offered better deals. Give us a chance." Dan said, "If your stock stays above $70 by day's end, I'll partner." Will, relieved, checked his phone. Yesterday's price was $85, but his eyes widened as Tate Tech's stock plummeted like a waterfall, crashing to its lowest point. "How could this happen?" Will screamed. Dan said, "I did it. You disrespected my father." Will stammered, "When did I disrespect your dad? This is a misunderstanding." I laughed. "You called me a lunatic earlier." Harry, Ria, Tom, and Lisa stood stunned, realizing I was Dan's father. Mia stepped forward. "I'm Mia, director of Apex Tech Institute, pioneering tech for Dan's empire." Nora added, "I'm Nora, principal of Elite Global Academy." Guests gasped, whispering, "Jake raised 3 prodigies. Incredible." The AI dog, still at the party, scampered over, playfully nudging Dan's leg, drawing laughs from the crowd and lightening the mood momentarily, until Will's face darkened again. Harry's family crumbled. Ria felt Wendy's betrayal. Will lost his empire, and Tom's fake tears couldn't save their reputation. I felt no anger, just closure. I'd built a family with Dan, Mia, and Nora, who all loved me. The Millers and Tates could keep their ruins. I had everything.